Police call it road rage. The victims, a mom and a teenager learning how to drive. A spike in measles in one Alberta town.
Had people I've seen walk in or around town, a child that's got a rash, and it's just, people are still going about their business.
Where most kids have not been vaccinated. And singing out loud on Pride Rock.
It's my native language. I was born in it.
A South African actor on stage in The Lion King in Calgary.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Ian White.
Good afternoon. A 17-year-old boy is recovering from a serious assault following a road rage incident in the Northeast Tuesday night. Tyson Fedora joins us live from Madigan Drive, Northeast. And Tyson, the teenager was learning to drive with his mother.
Ian, he was actually learning to park the family's SUV with his mom on this street here behind me. That's when a white pickup truck aggressively came up behind them, and that's where this incident began. Now, police say the driver of that pickup truck then drove around the pair before pulling a U-turn and pulling up next to the vehicle. It was about 9:30 on Tuesday evening in the 6100 block of 4th Avenue Northeast and Madigan Drive. Two men between 20 and 30 years old got out of the truck and attempted to get inside the SUV where the boy and mom were. The boy then jumped out of the vehicle, which police say was in an effort to protect his mom. That's when he was attacked with a weapon and assaulted, suffering soft tissue injuries. The attackers then fled the scene. He was taken to hospital in serious but stable condition. Police describe one of the suspects as wearing a white t-shirt, and the truck is an early 2000s white Chevrolet Silverado or GMC Sierra extended cab with some sort of object extending outside of the box. Now, police do tell us today that they believe there were additional witnesses here at the scene on Tuesday that may have actually recorded the incident while it was ongoing. Police are now asking anyone with information regarding this assault or anyone with video, maybe doorbell footage or security footage from your home, to contact investigators or Crime Stoppers. Ian?
Tyson, thank you. The Calgary man has been charged after security video caught him waving a hatchet and hurling racial slurs at a neighbor. After CTV's reporting of the situation on Tuesday, police have now charged Shane Stewart. The 47-year-old is accused of a number of crimes, including criminal harassment and assault with a weapon. The neighbor says after multiple reports of the disturbing behavior, he's pleased to hear police have taken action. A shooting early this morning in the northeast neighborhood of Redstone. Police say around 3 a.m. shots were fired into a parked car. Multiple shell casings are visible on the street. At this point, it doesn't appear anyone was injured. Investigators are still piecing together what happened. Measles cases continue to grow, and southern Alberta remains a hotspot. Of the 36 new cases in the province today, 22 of them are in the south zone. Terry Fikowski joins us with more. And Terry, you spent some time in Taber this week. What can you tell us?
Ian, it's certainly the talk of the town, and wasn't hard to find people who'd recently had or had children that got measles. The entire South Health Zone has been under a standing measles advisory since the end of May, meaning anywhere you go, you risk exposure. The municipal district of Taber has amongst the lowest measles vaccination rates for children in the province. The latest provincial data from 2024 found that just shy of 29% of children had received the recommended 2 doses of vaccine by the age of 2. Now, many people in town told me that the low uptick in vaccination is due to a mix of religious beliefs, anti-vaccine sentiments, and misinformation. A local pharmacist says it's actually not uncommon to spot someone with the rash and measles in town, and says despite efforts to educate, it's difficult to change people's perspective on the effectiveness of the vaccine.
Had people I've seen walk in or around town, a child that's got a rash, and it's just, people are still going about their business. I think everyone knows where the lines have been drawn and realizes that sometimes you can push, but people aren't going to change their minds, so there's only so much you can do or say.
Of the 1,376 confirmed measles cases in Alberta, nearly 60% are in the South Zone. The Ministry of Primary and Preventive Health Services says the government is managing the measles situation in Alberta with public health tools like expanded vaccination clinics and targeted outreach. Ian?
Several Alberta casinos, including 5 in the Calgary area, are offering liquor service 24 hours a day. It's part of a new pilot program that will last 6 months. Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis says it came up with the plan after consulting with the industry. The agency says the project is aimed at matching liquor service with slot machine hours. Casinos must follow a number of conditions, including ensuring patron safety. Casinos we spoke to say they're offering the additional service with no issues so far. But Mothers Against Drunk Driving has some concerns.
The research literature is quite clear that when you increase alcohol availability, the alcohol-related harms also increase. So you got to make sure that steps are taken to help mitigate those harms. Staff need to be trained. They need to not overserve patrons, and there needs to be an emphasis that if they believe that someone is going to be driving, that they call 911.
After the pilot project, the province will evaluate results and reports from casinos before making any long-term changes. Albertans summering in the village of Ghost Lake say poor reservoir management is ruining their seasonal getaway. The Ghost Reservoir is well below its yearly average water level. It's a decision made by TransAlta as it manages its hydro plant. But the choice has left those who own properties downstream with limited water to swim or boat in. Some say their docks are ruined. Others have hit gravel bars and damaged their boats. They're confused because Alberta's seasonal rainfall and runoff amounts have been average.
So about this time last year, we had probably close to a meter more water than we do right now, which functionally makes a huge difference. If you look around the village, you'll see a lot of rock, a lot of points that are exposed, and you'll see that most of the docks and things are going to be empty.
TransAlta wouldn't give us an interview, but a statement sent by the company says it's had to accommodate recent rainfall and is watching the water levels closely. Speaking of water, we got a lot today in the form of rain, but we're getting a bit of a break at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a pattern this week. We get that rain event, and then we get a bit of a breather. We get a bit of sunshine back in the forecast before that next wet weather system moves in. So we're just dealing with the dissipating stage of that rain right now. We did get a good amount of it over the city today, though, about 26 millimeters so far, but starting to see a little bit of blue sky on our screen there. 16 degrees currently our high so far for today. And there on your watches and mornings radar satellite, you can see that system start to weaken and track to the east of us. So when we look at the next 24 hours here, should get a good amount of clearing throughout the evening. It'll be cool, though, so temperatures down to 9 degrees tonight with some easterly winds, so that's not a very warm direction. Tomorrow, a decent amount of sunshine as well. Good time to be outdoors with those southwesterly winds, but then anticipating more instability back in the forecast for tomorrow. And, of course, your 24-hour forecast brought to you by 5th Avenue Volkswagen, where you can win your ride. See dealer for details or visit 5thavvw.com.
Thanks, Gina. This morning's rain canceled the official groundbreaking for Calgary's first combined pump track and skate park. It will be located in George Moss Park in Ogden. Calgary's Parks Foundation says this isn't just about adding new amenities to a park, it's about transforming an underused space. The facility should be complete by this fall or early winter. The rising cost of living is having a wide-ranging effect. Coming up, the organization that's asking for help to make sure everyone can afford veterinary care for their pets. And off limits. Hikers can no longer visit a mountain after someone took fossils from the site. Also, if you have a news tip, text us at 10400. Parks Canada has stopped hikers from reaching the top of a revered peak after more fossils were stolen from the UNESCO World Heritage Site west of Calgary. Parks Canada will not be giving out the permits which previously allowed hikers to summit Mount Stephen in Yoho National Park. In August, 2 American men hiking without permits went into the protected site and took fossils. Now they face fines of nearly $5,000 each. Only guided hikes to the shale are now allowed, and that's that's disappointing to some in the scrambling community. The warden says sometimes even people with permits grab a souvenir. In other cases, money is the motivator.
People were consistently getting permits to scramble Mount Stephen, and some of those people were entering the closed area, and some of them, unfortunately, were illegally removing fossils.
Burgess Shale has vast deposits of well-preserved soft-bodied organisms. Researchers say the 500-million-year-old fossils have uncovered many unknown species. People in Jasper are getting more help to rebuild their homes after last year's wildfire. Parks Canada and the Canadian Red Cross have announced up to $5 million to help residents test and remove contaminated soil before they rebuild their homes. Last summer, a fire tore through the town, destroying about a third of its structures. Already, more than $180 million in government money has gone to Jasper to help rebuild. Okay, you know, in terms of that hot summer weather, it's been a while since we've had it, right?
Yeah, we've always been a touch under seasonal at best, or it's days like today where we only managed to get into the mid-teens. So high so far for today, 16 degrees. Not really seeing us move the needle much more today, but you can see on our Skywatch weather camera, starting to see the clouds push out, a little more blue sky and sunshine working its way into the sky there. But yeah, you can see on this board here, temperatures not overly warm, 18 downtown. That looks to be the hot spot, 17 at the airport. So hey, that's where we get our temperature values from, and looks like we did manage to eke up to a high of 17. And over in Strathmore, you're at 16 degrees right now. Get your daily dose of greens at Serenity Golf Club, just 20 minutes east of Calgary. Outside of Calgary, we are seeing very similar temperature values to the south of us, 17 in Lethbridge, 19 over in Medicine Hat. Central Alberta, around 14 in Red Deer. Edmonton, cooking compared to everywhere else at 24 right now. So quite a range in our temperature values currently. Tomorrow we'll see a bit of a rebound back into some seasonal conditions. Still monitoring some thunderstorm watches in the extreme southeast corner there, tracking into Saskatchewan, and it's from that dissipating system that we experienced throughout the day here. Brought a good amount of rain over Calgary, and you can see a lot of lightning tracking to the east as it exits Alberta into Saskatchewan right now. But just a quick look at us in the city here. You can see a bit more of that clearing happening. Should be done with the rain for a little bit here. But let's take a look at tomorrow. This is your Friday storm outlook. So we have a moderate risk in the Calgary area where we could see winds get up to 90 kilometers an hour and hail up to 5 centimeters in diameter. In the minor risk zone, 1 to 2 centimeter size hail possible, and those winds at around 70 kilometers an hour. Now in this zone here in the south, winds could be stronger, hail could be larger. And there is the potential, if the surface winds are blowing one way and then the upper winds blow another, that we'll get that circulation that could create some tornadic development. So a lot possible for tomorrow. It's a bit of a situation, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Radar, or excuse me, your futurecast here showing some nice clear conditions as we get into Friday morning. That instability working its way back into parts of southern Alberta, pushing off the foothills as we get into the evening hours. But this model, pretty conservative with that storm potential, at least for the extreme south there. But we certainly seem to see that nocturnal thunderstorm setup once again enter into Calgary late Friday night and early Saturday morning. On and off rain throughout the day, and even more rain expected as we get into Sunday. This model just doesn't go that far ahead. But here's a regional forecast for you. For the next 3 days, we can get a preview of Sunday here. Looks like a lot of areas will experience cloudy conditions and showers as well. Temperatures not too bad compared to today at least, but we're still trending below seasonal as we progress throughout the next 5 days here. So 21 tomorrow with that thunderstorm risk in the evening, pretty similar for Saturday, and then we cool off a bit and get a little more gloomy into next week.
Thank you, Gina. A local charity is launching a campaign to help pet owners pay for the cost of veterinary care. The rising cost of living and economic hardship are impacting people whose pets need care. The Compassionate Veterinary Care Program started in 2024 and was immediately overwhelmed by requests, forcing the organization to recently pause new applications. Now the organization is asking for public support to reopen the program. ARC says its shelter is always full and more pets need to be able to stay home with their families.
We have hundreds and thousands of stray animals that come to us every year. So we want to keep pets in homes with their loving families wherever we can. And so we just found that the number of requests that we were getting every single day from the public asking for help, it really encouraged us to find a solution.
ARCS has launched a campaign through the Alberta government's crowdfunding platform that will match $5,000. Their goal is to raise $15,000. It's one of Disney's biggest franchises. The Lion King, the Broadway musical, is back in Calgary this month. Still ahead, the actor who plays Rafiki talks about using her native language in the play. Alberta's Auditor General has uncovered some problems in the management of the province's child care subsidy program. Auditor General Doug Wiley found the government did not consistently get proof from daycares that they were spending provincial funding on child care. Wiley said there's a risk that parents are overpaying for child care and educators are being undercompensated. The Alberta NDP responded, saying the UCP government failed to live up to its responsibility to provide affordable child care. Legal Aid Alberta has a new 5-year agreement with the Alberta government. The board chair of Legal Aid says the deal will strengthen the current model and make it responsive to the needs of Albertans. Last fall, the province began a review of legal aid in the province. It spent more than $88 million to provide legal representation to low-income Albertans in the past fiscal year. From Cleopatra to Canadian Tire, the largest coin show in Canadian history opened in Calgary this morning. Coins from ancient Egypt with Mark Antony on one side and Cleopatra on the other are displayed alongside rare paper bills and modern collectibles. It's all part of the Royal Canadian Numismatic Association convention. Collectors of all levels are here, and the coins on display are all for sale, ranging from just a few dollars to tens of thousands of dollars per coin. The annual show attracts dealers and collectors from across the country.
It is a very tight community, and anyone that's anybody in the Canadian coin business is here today at the RCNA. So we're just really excited for a great show. I haven't seen a show buzzing like this in a long time, so it's exciting.
You might want to check your junk drawer before heading to the show. There's an entire catalog of collectible Canadian Tire money, some of it ranging in the hundreds of dollars per bill, but the most expensive, a yellow $2 note from the 1960s, goes for $2,500 or more. Measles cases continue to climb in Alberta. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. The South Zone continues to be a hotspot in our province with 22 of the 36 new cases today. Coming up at 6, the message that one mother has for other parents after her baby came down with the highly infectious disease. Also ahead, a new book highlights Indigenous rock art in southern Alberta. We'll show you some of the pictographs close to Calgary and their meaning. Ian.
Thanks, Tara. The second you hear that voice, you know what you're watching. The Lion King is the highest grossing Broadway musical, and it returns to Calgary later this month. Joining me is Mukalisiwe Goba, who plays Rafiki. Mukalisiwe, great to chat with you today.
Hello, hello.
So
thanks, guys, for having me.
Thanks for joining us. That famous song, that call to Pride Rock, at the very beginning of the play, it's so memorable for people. It's in Zulu. What actually are you singing?
The first call, when I'm saying, Nant ingonyama bagiti baba, I'm saying, here comes the lion. So, you know, when somebody's telling you, here comes the lion, what should you do? You have to run.
Absolutely. Now, I understand you're originally from South Africa. What's it like bringing this iconic African story to North American audiences?
It's absolutely like a great honor for me to be here in America to share my upbringing and to share my culture with everybody around the whole world. So it's really nice because coming back from South Africa, I feel like it's a flex, of course, because there are certain stuff when I sing or like when I'm doing the clicks like some other people, they think I went to school to learn all of those, but they don't know that it's my native language. I was born in it. So when I grew up, so those are the notes, sound that I could hear whenever people are speaking around me.
And to see my extended interview with Mukelisiwe Goba, visit ctvnews.ca/Calgary. You will need some patience if you're really hoping for a hot summer day. Right now in the city, mostly cloudy and 17 degrees. Gina has details just ahead. We were just talking about going to the movies, yes. And it could be a good weekend for it. You might hear a thunderstorm when you're in the theater, though.
It might just add to the experience. Sure. You never know. But right now, getting a bit of calm back in the forecast after that pretty gloomy, rainy day out there. We did get 26 millimeters of rainfall in Calgary, so that cooled us off, only getting up to a high of 17 today. Bit of a rebound temperature-wise tomorrow. We'll get some morning sunshine, so 21 for Friday and Saturday, but you can see a weekend full of active weather on tap. We'll have more details tonight at 6.
Thanks, Gina. Calgary-based rally car team is gearing up to compete in two of the most grueling off-road races on the planet, and it's proudly bringing the Canadian flag with it. The Gear Shop Technical Motorsport team has qualified to compete in the Morocco Rally this year and the Dakar Rally next year, events known for their extreme challenges and grueling terrain. The team earned their spot earlier this year after a second-place finish with their 2023 Ford Bronco at the Sonora Rally in Mexico. The team has recruited a veteran Dakar manager, a former leader of Mitsubishi's factory rally team, who agreed to guide them through the world's toughest race.
On the phone, I said, look, you ever watch this movie called Cool Runnings? And he's like, I love that movie. I'm like, well, we're kind of like that, but we're going the other way. We're going from a cold climate to hot desert, and we don't know what we're doing. And he said, I love the challenge. I'll take you on. This is truly a Canadian-wide project, and we're hopeful that the Canadian flag on the car is really going to show around the world.
The team is now preparing to ship their vehicle, still sporting an Alberta license plate, to Morocco this fall, with plans to represent Canada on the global stage at Dakar in January of 2026. Best of luck to them. Thanks for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.